I welcome you all, our online students, in today's hands-on workshop on mastering PowerPoint presentation, covering various aspects of creating and delivering effective presentation using PowerPoint. And I also welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Arpit Thakur. Just a second. Sorry for a technical glitch. So today I welcome our speaker, Mr. Arpit Thakur, Assistant Professor at Lovely Professional University, Fakwara. He has proven experience in mentoring professionals in counseling and upskilling them in the areas such as automobile, data management, presentation, and work processing skills. So he has been certified in various in-demand skills like ERP system, data visualization, career counseling, presentation, and Microsoft Excel. Mr. Arpit is an academician with the great experience of 7 years, and he has knowledge in subjects like fluid and thermal sciences, automotive applications, career counseling, and data visualization. Mr. Arpit Thakur is passionate about upscaling and research. He has many publications in various national and international journals indexed by recognized institutions. Mr. Thakur regularly delivers faculty development programs and trainings to professionals. Mr. Thakur is actively handling responsibility at the Center of Distance and Online Education, Lovely Professional University, and has been a part of key responsibilities in other departments for conducting and coordinating essential functions. So I again welcome Arpit Thakur sir in this session. Arpit sir, over to you.
Thank you, Asim sir. Thank you for the welcome. First of all, I would like to welcome all the students who have joined this session, and lots of good afternoon wishes I have received through the chat. So I would like to welcome all of you in this session. Today, through this session, we will try to learn, or we will try to see what are the key tools, key skills, key inputs which are available in Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Why it is important to understand these things, because see, at some point of your life, even in your during your education, when you're working, we all need to deliver different kind of presentations. And presentation, see, you do a lot of work, you do a lot of hard work, fine, but your hard work need to be translated to some other people. It should be explainable to the other people. And in order to do that, you should deliver presentation in the most effective way. Now, how can you make your presentation in most effective way? There are different ways how you are communicating your presentation. So basically, your communication skills, how you are narrating your story. So how you build your story, and then what sort of visualizations you have implemented in your story. So through Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, we will try to see what kind of visualizations we can introduce, or how we can optimize our storytelling, how you can optimize your work through the PowerPoint presentation. So that is why in the subtitle you can see I have included this line very carefully: best practices for your next presentation. Now when you try to go through this presentation through this session, you will try to know, or you will explore what are the important tools, what are the important points, what are the important features available in presentation, PowerPoint presentation, and how to use them in the best possible way. Like there could be different ways where you can you might be using the same tools, but it may be like, suppose maybe more time taking as compared to other ways. There could be different ways by which you can reduce the time interval for doing the same task on the PowerPoint presentation. That is why I have used this subtitle, that what is the best practice using this tool for your next presentation. So without delaying any further, let us just start discussing over this. I'm going to share my complete screen with you, so I might not be able to see your chats uh, between my discussions. But no, after some time, I'll be revisiting the chat section, and if you have any question, you can post your questions in the chat section, right? Let me share my screen completely with you. All right. So basically, as I have just introduced my topic that we are going to discuss about Microsoft PowerPoint presentation and how you can make the best use of it. But before that, like I was telling you that when you're communicating your story, when you're communicating your work to someone, you need to build a narrative. Now, when you are building a narrative, it could consist a lot of things: a background story, a data. So there could be anything which which will create a kind of a story, a background for your presentation, for your work. So for my presentation in this for this session, I could like tell you a story. Like if you go, beyond some in the history, when there was not of, there are no such tools are available. Very less kind of features are available in order to tell the stories, to tell your work. So people used to gather around trees. They used to take some committee and they used to tell their work. This is how the storytelling or how the presentation was used to be in the earlier times. But now, as the technology has evolved, we have several tools, we have several methods, we have several ways to showcase our work, showcase our presentation. Even today, I'm delivering this session to you. Is kind of an example. You are not present in the campus. I am somewhere else, and still we are able to, I'm able to present what I want to convey to you. Fine. So this is just because of the evolution of the technology, and this is how we can make use of the technology. Now when you have the technology in front of you, it is just up to us that how we can make best use of it. So for that, let us just go through again. See, I just built the narrative how I am going to make this session fruitful for you. Like what was the earlier times, what was the hardship, and what is the the shift, the change, the transition. That is what I am going to discuss here from two example. Now, when you talk about PowerPoint presentation, so there is a whole lot of history behind PowerPoint presentation. It is one of the presentation program. Fine. This is a tool where you can present your work. Now, try to think of any other tool which is giving you a presentation program. Do you know? Can you figure out? Can you name any other tool, any other software which can let you give presentations? If you can recalculate, or if you can remember any other tool which you can use for giving your presentation, please list it out in the chat. Let me just see what answers do we have. We have Canva, yes. We have Xmind. Even Google has some tool for this. Keynotes, right? Google Slides, yes. So nowadays we have a lot of other tools also in our picture which can help you to showcase your work. OneNote, very good. So I can see a lot of answers: Google Slide, Excel, Power BI, Tableau. Okay. See, Power BI, Tableau could be just for a dashboard, just for showing the data. I can say you can use in different ways also. But for Power BI, I can say mostly related with the data dashboards. Now, see, when you are seeing also all those names, you are seeing the name of Google Slides, Canva, PowerPoint, fine. You know that the most powerful tool or most popular tool, I can say, in the present day is Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, because of the number of people using this tool to showcase their presentation. I hope almost all of you will agree to this sentence, that this is the most popular tool to showcase your presentation, right? Now, this tool was initially created by Robert Gaskin and Dennis Austin. Fine, they have released the first version of PowerPoint presentation in 20th April 1987, and later Microsoft has acquired the PowerPoint. They have bought PowerPoint from Robert and Dennis for a sum of $14 million after the 3 months of its release. So Microsoft found, or Microsoft understood its relevance, its popularity. Okay, they have forecasted that how popular it is going to be. So they have bought this tool from them way back in 1987 itself, right? So that is what we need to understand, that how much this tool was important for back then in 1987 itself. So Microsoft understood the importance and bought it from the creator. And from them, Microsoft might have might have earned a lot of money from this tool itself. Fine, you can see the sales figure of a PowerPoint from Wikipedia or from other sources. You can see that how much, per year PowerPoint is earning to Microsoft. That is what we need to understand, the importance of PowerPoint presentation. Later, if you see, like I'm going to deliver this presentation to you, that this is a session on Microsoft, understanding or learning the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So whenever you are learning some new tools, some new software, okay, some software has certain prerequisites. Now, what could be the prerequisites that you are going to learn from this session is, like, you should have a Microsoft Office installed in your system, and the Office system must be, the version must be above 2010. Like, there are different releases of Office: 2010, 13, 16, 19, 365. So there are different releases of the Office versions. You should have at least 2010 to understand or to go through all the tools which I'm going to talk about in today's session. Other than this, you don't need any other prior Microsoft PowerPoint knowledge in order to go through this session. We are going to start with very scratch. I'm going to start with very scratch, and you will be getting to know everything from basic till I'm trying to touch the advanced portion also through this session. Because of the time limitation, I might not be able to go in very extensive manner, but I will try to touch the advanced section of the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation also. All right. So this is about the prerequisites of PowerPoint presentation. Now, using the PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, what all you can format? Okay, what kind of things you can work upon using the Microsoft PowerPoint? You can see I have listed some of the things. You can format text, you can format images, shapes, tables, charts using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. And if you know all of these things, how to format all of these things in the best possible way, you can be like, you can beat a graphic designer even using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. These days, you can even, create animated videos using the PowerPoint presentation. So if you just only know how to make best use of all of these things, images, text, shapes, tables, charts, you can beat any graphic designer in terms of designing the PowerPoint presentation. Fine. So now, somebody may think, like, I have just represented this slide, that what can you format? Okay, and it is very poorly formatted in front of you. You can see my slide is very poorly formatted: text, image, shape. I could present the same slide in n number of possible ways to make it look more beautiful. Fine. Now, what could be the possible ways? I can show one of the possible way where I can show that how I can present this to a crowd, where I can I can try to connect with the crowd in a better graphic or in a better appealing manner. Fine. How I can visualize this thing in a better appealing manner? You can see, what can you format? I have used certain icons, I have used certain shapes. Okay, then I can show you some animations, graphics. Fine. I can format text, I can format images, I can format shapes, charts, and tables using Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So you can see the same slide which I have shown you in the previous slide, and the same thing, how better way I can present the same thing. So this is more interactive. This is more eye-catching to someone you are showing to this. Let's say audience, fine, somebody who is evaluating your work. So if you present your work, maybe in this way, it can fetch more attention, it can fetch more marks, it can fetch more appraisal to your work. Fine. So just that is what we are going to discuss. What sort of tools are available and how to make best use of them. Just one example I wanted to give here in the very beginning of this session. Okay, there are some more examples I can convey here. Like, you can see a quotation here, a quotation given by Nelson Mandela. He said that the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So it discuss about, like, how persistent you are, how confident you are to rise again even after falling. So this is how a kind of a motivation quote or motivation statement given by Nelson Mandela. So if you want to start, most of the people, what they generally do, if like they want to, like I am one of them, if I want to start my presentation on a particular topic, so I would start with a quote from a famous personality related to my topic. Fine. So if you are also among such people, that this gives some weightage to your presentation. Fine. So if you are among some people that who would like to include some quotation from some famous people, you can include such things. but you can see the same presentation, the same content, I can show in a better way, in some other way also, so that it could be more appealing. Like if you can see this slide over here, this slide also says the same exact things that Nelson Mandela has conveyed, that the greatest glory in living lies in not never in falling, but rise in every time we fall. Fine. So this is kind of a motivational quote Nelson Mandela has given, but you can say a different presentation, a different view, right? Even you can optimize it further. We can see like the same quotation I have reworked into this manner. The quotation is written between the two quotes, and then the author name is mentioned here. Right? So this is also how you can manage your text, manage something you want to present. So just for some idea sake, I am just showing you that how you can appeal to your audience by just using different tools available in the PowerPoint presentation. Just some examples. Now, next, I just want to tell you that what could be the learning outcomes, what could be the outcomes all of us are going to gain from this session. Very important outcomes, very specific outcomes I'm going to show you. Like suppose if you have received some presentation, you are working in an industry and you have received a presentation from your boss, and that presentation maybe contains some error, some formatting, some poor formatting, some very arbitrary organized disorganized text, images. Fine. So you may have to format that presentation once again. So if you know all the proper tools, how to implement those tools, you can work out formatting those presentation in a very easy manner, and that too at a very rapid time, so that you can save a lot of time and you can make it optimal. You can make it in the best possible way. You can give it to your boss. Right. So this is one of the outcome which you can achieve from this session. Other than this, if you know the best tools, if you know the best use of the tools available in the presentation, it is going to save a lot of time for you. And saving time can lead to more creativity. If you can save time, it will lead you to it will give you more time to think and to add a creative section on your presentation. Fine. So that is one of the aspect, that if you know the best tools, save the time and apply that time in order to inculcate more creativity into your presentation. Then if you can smartly create the presentation, it will save a lot of effort. Obviously, time and effort go hand in hand. If you can save time, you can save the efforts also. And then if you know all the tools in presentations, you can create a lot of different kind of documents. Like you can create templates. You can see there are a lot of companies, startups, small companies, they give consultancies for presentation making itself. They have made a number of templates. You can create templates and sell those templates online. Freelancing jobs you can perform. Fine, you can create animations, and you can create a whole lot of work using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation if you can make best use of it. Right. So kind of these are my pinpointed outcomes through this session, and I hope everybody, most of you are going to make use a best possible use, so that you can harvest all of these outcomes from this session. Now, what is the component? What are the components for my current session, for this session? Let's see. So I am going to talk about, initially I'm going to talk about the Microsoft PowerPoint interface. Then I'm going to talk about the formatting the PowerPoint document, how we can format the document. Then I'm going to talk about applying the transitions and animations, and working with slide masters and smart arts. So basically, these are my 4 points which I'm going to talk about. See, even during the presentation, I can use this laser pointer just to grab the attention of my audience. How I'm getting it? I'm just right clicking over here and showing using the pointer option, any of the pointer option. Suppose if I want to annotate something, if I want to edit something in my presentation, if I want to show some addition, like suppose if this point is, I want to draw the attention to this point, so I can annotate here also. But right now, if I want to just put the attention to my audience to some particular point, like see, I'm going to start with PowerPoint interface, then I'm going to move towards formatting the document, then I'm going to move towards applying transition and animation, and later on I will be talking about working with slide master and smart art. So this is how you can use the laser pointer also on the during the slideshow. Fine. But right now I'm just deactivating it. So this is my components. These are the components of the session. Starting with the first component here itself directly, you can see, have you noticed the transition which I have just shown to you? See, try to notice the transition once again. I have shown you 4 components. This is like a kind of content of my presentation. This is the content of my presentation. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a transition that what will be my first point, first content. First content is PowerPoint interface. And you see how smoothly I have transited there. So try to notice how I have done it. Fine. So this is again one of the feature in PowerPoint presentation, which is called as section zoom or slide zoom. So in this case, I have created different sections in my previous slide, and I have created one of the section. I have linked all the sections with different part of my presentation. So first part or first section of my presentation is PowerPoint interface. So let's see what sort of things, what sort of features are available in this particular section of PowerPoint interface. You see, again, try to observe the transitions. See, some images are coming from top left, some images are coming from the sides, and how the images have transitioned to create another, point here. Fine. So this is an example that this is how the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation has evolved in terms of the interface. Like if I take your attention towards here, in 2007, this is kind of the interface available for PowerPoint presentation, where some ribbons are attached differently, some quick access toolbar was not present. Fine. So this could be the interface in 2007. They have evolved. They have provided certain certain things they have added, certain things they have removed in 2010, 2013, and so on up to 2019. But if you observe the interface from 2016 to the interface which we have at the present day, 2019 or 21, they most likely are similar. Okay, there was a significant change in the interface from 2003 to 2007 and from 2007 to 2010. But later on, the interface is more likely, not exactly, but more likely, it is similar. They have been consistent in their updates. Fine. They have added their some of the features in their presentation in the tools. Somebody has requested to show me the transition once again. I'll be showing you once again. No, don't worry. So this is what I was talking about. The interface in different time interval with different updates given by Microsoft. It may be updated, it may be changed, but most likely it has been consistent since 2016 update. So even if you have any system or any version above 2010, okay, that will be okay to learn these kind of tools which I'm going to talk here today. Fine. That is why I've mentioned the same thing in the prerequisites also. Now, this is the interface when you open a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. This could be the working interface where you will work. I will show you our interface once again. Suppose if I open, let's say, let me open any PowerPoint presentation. Let's say if I open it once again, just a second. If I close it, and if I try to open a new presentation, you see, this is how the presentation window looks like. So that is what I have shown in my slide also. I hope my voice is clear to everyone. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So when you have opened a new file in Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, this window will be appearing in front of you. Now, this window has different points, and all of these sections on the window have different functionalities. So let us just try to understand one by one what are the different interface parts and what are their functions. Very quickly, I'm going to discuss this part. Like if I start first part, you see this tab available here. I've just highlighted with this box available. So this part is called as quick access toolbar. Okay, this part is called as quick access toolbar. Now, why they are, try to decode from the name. It is called as quick access toolbar because we can use or we can attach some tools which I'm using very frequently in my presentation. That is why it is called as quick access toolbar. So I save my document a lot of time. So I've used save as a tool on quick access toolbar. In short, it is also called as QAT. Undo is one of the tools which I'm using very frequently. Slideshow is one of the tools. Fine. So you can manage the quick access toolbar. You can add certain tools. You can remove certain tools from the quick access toolbar by using this arrow option here. If I show you, let me just show you. see, this is my quick access toolbar. And when I click on this arrow, it told me, or it tells me that what other options I can add to my quick access toolbar. Suppose if I'm working with a lot of new documents, okay, so I can create a new part here. So it shows me icon a new file. So when I click here, it will every time it will generate me a new PowerPoint presentation. Fine. So you can activate or deactivate a new file here in this manner. Fine. So though I don't use a new file a lot of times, so I will keep it deactivate. You can customize also. You can customize this quick access toolbar. There is an option available. Okay, customized quick access toolbar. So when you click over it, it will tell you these are the tools which are available, and these are the tools I have used on my quick access toolbar. Fine. So if I want to add some other tools, let's say if I want to add something like, let's say transition. So I select transition, and if I click on add, the transition will be added to my quick access toolbar after I press OK. So when I press OK, you can see this icon has came here, transition, and it shows all the transitions which are available in the PowerPoint. Fine. So this is how you can customize the quick access toolbar also. Though I don't need transition over here, transition tool over here, so I can customize it and remove it again. So for removing it, again, I will go to customize transition and I can remove it, press on OK. So this is how you can format the quick access toolbar. Okay. Next part is this, the top part, which is called as title bar. Fine. When you create a new file, so by default, the new file is named as untitled or new presentation based on the version you are using. But after you save the file with some name, it will at the top, it will show the name of your file. Right now, you can see in my presentation or this the graphic which I have used, it shows PPT. So I have named my file as PPT. So that is why it is showing PPT here. Otherwise, it could have shown something else. Fine. So this is the title bar. It will show, it will tell you the name of your present file. Now you can see this bigger window over here. This is called as ribbon. Okay, this is called as ribbon. Now this ribbon has different tabs. You can see at the top there, it has a file tab. Let me just use a laser pointer here. You can see this has a file tab, a home tab, insert, draw, design, transition. So this ribbon has different tabs, and each tab have a number of tools available. Like right now, I'm activated the home tab. I have activated the home tab. In the home tab itself, there are tools like clipboard. There are tools for slides. There are tools for fonts, paragraph, drawing, editing, voice, designer. Fine. And even in each segment, we have different tools available. So if you can explore all the tabs, like if you go to insert, you will find that in the insert tab, you have inserting images, inserting tables, inserting shapes, videos, audios. There are all sort of inserting documents available in the insert tab. If you go to draw, design, you can see appropriate tools are available in different tabs available here. Fine. So it is up to you. When you are next time you're opening the presentation, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, go through each tab and see what kind of tools are available in each tab. Basically the name, see where these tools are available, this section is called as ribbon. So this ribbon could have tools from home tab. This ribbon could have tools from insert tab. This ribbon could have tools from draw tab, and so on. Fine. So that is the name of this section, ribbon, and what is the function of ribbon, that is just sorted here. Next, if you see at the bottom, you can say right side, you will see some tools available here. These tools are related with shortcuts and zoom control. If you want to zoom in and zoom out in your presentation while you're making it, fine. So you can control it from here. Maximum zoom, you can give it like 400% zoom is given, if I can recollect correctly. Okay, there are these three buttons available. Like right now it is activated. This is called as normal view. So in the normal view, your presentation is going to look like this. When you click on the adjacent view, it is called as handout view. It is called as reading view. So you can switch between views also when you are making your presentation. Most of the people prefer normal view while making the presentation. Yeah, when you are summarizing or when you're reading your presentation, you can go for handout view or reading view. There are other views also available in the PowerPoint presentation. If you go into the ribbon and if you click on the view tab, you can see different types of views available in the PowerPoint presentation. If I can show you, let me just move back. Okay, So here you can see if I switch to handout view, you can see it is showing me different slides at a single time. If I go to reading view, okay, just a second. Okay, so this is how different views are available. So most likely people prefer normal view. Now, if I want to access more views, there is a view tab available. Now within the view tab, you can see normal view, outline view, slide sorter, sorry, notes page, reading view. So these are the different views by which you can see your presentation. Okay, there are other tools available which we are going to talk about gradually in the later part of this presentation. So right now, I just want your focus to be in the view part. Okay, next button is showing you, if you can click on this next button, it will activate the slideshow. So slideshow in which we generally present our presentation to the audience. Right, I can zoom in and zoom out of my presentation. If I try to zoom in, maximum zoom I can do is 400%. So I can zoom in and zoom out of my presentation also. Okay, moving back to the slideshow. Now the next segment you can see over here at the right corner, you can see a kind of a slider. So this slider is basically called as scroll bar. So if you have like right now, as an example, I have 11 slides in this. So I am at the bottom part of my presentation. If I scroll it up, I can see other presentations also, other slides also, not presentation, other slides also in my window. Fine. So this scroll bar is to navigate through between different slides. Here at this bottom of the right left portion, you can see there is one more, some information is coming. What is this called as? This is called as status bar. Here you can see the status of your document. Right now there are 11 slides in my document. The language which is used in my document is English. Now right now I may have some elements in my presentation which Microsoft system is not able to investigate, or it is not able to understand. That is why status has shown investigate, otherwise it will show okay. So there could be some elements like a video element or audio element I have used in my presentation, which the Microsoft could not understand. That is why it is showing me that you need to investigate your document. There could be some personal details which I have included in my presentation, which a Microsoft tells user to investigate its presentation before sharing with anyone else. Right? So this is the status bar of my presentation. Here you can see some scales available. So these scales are called as ruler. Ruler is very effective in terms of designing content on the presentation. Suppose if you're designing something, these rulers will guide you about the alignment, about the position, even about the size of the objects which you're using, so that you can uniformly align different elements in your presentation. And it is very important in order to keep things uniform when you're making a presentation. When you're designing a presentation, you might have seen different people, maybe your classmates, showing their presentation which are very absurd. There are no uniformity. In one of the slide, there could be different color scheme. In other slide, there could be different color scheme. There could be different font in one section. There could be different font in another section. So these are kind of non-uniformity which people do not like in a presentation. So these kind of things, to make your presentation more uniform, you can make use of the ruler which is available in the presentation. You can activate and deactivate this ruler from the view section in your presentation. Fine. Now at this section, you can see different number of slides which are available in your presentation. This is called as slide navigation. If you want to go to 7th slide or 9th slide, you can directly click from this navigation bar and it will take you to that particular slide. So this is called as slide navigation. Fine. And the main window which is available at the center, it is called a slide window. Now major creation part, if you want to create your content over here, so you can use the slide window for creating the content. So this is called a slide window. So this is about the main interface which will be displayed as soon as you open the PowerPoint presentation. But there are other windows also, there are other things also available in the PowerPoint presentation as an interface. In terms of interface, if I want to convey, like if I show you here, if you open this file tab, the first tab which I'm showing you, again, let me just take you back, file tab. So when you open the file tab, you see different options available in the file tab also. There are whole sort of options available in the file tab. Right now I'm at home. So in the home, you can see at the top section, it is showing me new document. I can create a totally blank presentation. I can start from scratch. There are certain templates given by Microsoft. So if you want to use some, interactive templates, if you don't want to design from very scratch, there are pre-designed documents available by the Microsoft. You can make use of them. If you go on, click on them, then you can edit them as per your requirements. Fine. So these are, predefined templates available by Microsoft. The recent files which you have worked upon, those will be shown here. Okay, in the very first section, in the home section under file tab, these are the features available. Now, if I click on new, it will show me a new blank presentation or any other themed presentation which is available by Microsoft I can make use of. Then in the next section, if I want to open some previous presentation I have created or saved, I can open it from here, from my local system, or from the shared drives also I can open the presentation. Now, info will tell you there are two sections, there are two columns in this info tab. You can see on the right tab, there are some information is available about my presentation, that what is the size of my document, 30 MB right now. There are 25 slides. Okay, it's and the name of my presentation is PowerPoint presentation. I have not used any tags or categories. When I have last modified my presentation, when I have created my presentation. Okay, right now, using what account I have logged into my Microsoft Office. So these are the things which have been shown here in the info section. There are other information is also available in the info section, but these things I will be talking about later on. There is like protecting your documents. You can apply password to your document. When you click on protection of your document, if you can encrypt your document, once you set a password, and if you will give this presentation to someone, if they try to open your presentation, it will ask password to them from them. So until and unless they know your password, they cannot access your document. So such kind of features are available. Like you can compress the media. Suppose if you're sharing your presentation with someone over an email, and email has certain size restriction. Right now my presentation is 30 MB. Gmail has restriction of 25 MB. Fine. So there could be like problem with sharing my presentation. So I can try to compress the media with the media which I have used in my presentation, maybe some images, some audio, video. So this could compress the media of the presentation by certain algorithm set by the Microsoft here. Fine. So these are some additional features available in the info section of my of the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Later you can see save and save as. There are two options, save and save as. I would like to ask a question to all the people available in this session. What is the difference between save and save as? If anybody could answer this question using the text or chat, do you find any difference between save and save as? Okay, somebody has answered save as is to alteration, save is current change. Okay, a lot of answers. See, basically all those answers are related. Like if I want to save my document with some other name, right now my document name is PowerPoint presentation. But if I want to save my presentation with some other name, so I can go with save as option. Okay, I want to save my presentation as a PDF. If I want to change the format, so if I want to change the name, or if I want to change the format of my document, I can go with save as. But suppose I have made my presentation here. Last night I was making this presentation. I made this presentation like 60%. Then I saved my presentation 60%, and I thought ki rest of the presentation I will make tomorrow. Fine. So I made remaining of the 20% presentation in the morning. Then I saved it. Fine. So if I'm saving my progress in the same file, so there I'm using save. But if I want to change the the name as well as the format of my document, then I can go with save as. This is the one major difference between save and save as. But there is a kind of a similarity also. This save and save as works similar in one of the situation. In one of the situation, save and save as works when your file is totally new. Suppose you have just created the file, you have started working. Okay, you have not saved your file right now. You have just created your file and you have started working. Okay, so in that case, what you will do? If you click save or save as, both the cases, even suppose if you have created a fresh document, you click on save. Even then, Microsoft PowerPoint will tell you to save the document by some name. It will ask you to give some name to your document and set the format. Fine. So in that case, save and save as works similar when your document is totally new, brand new. All right. Next is print. Now, if you want to take the printout of your presentation, fine, you can click on print. There are different setting of print, which is similar to how you take printout in a PDF, how you take printout in a Microsoft Word. So these all options are available in the print. If you want to share your presentation over a drive, over a cloud, you can click on share. Okay. Now, if you want to export your presentation, now there could be different options for exporting your presentation. You can export your presentation as a PDF. You can create a video of your presentation. You can create a GIF of your presentation. Okay, so there are different ways to export your presentation, and I would suggest everyone to explore this. Suppose if you have created your presentation, you have just completed a project. Now you need to give a presentation on your project. Fine, you made your presentation. Try to create a video. Now, when you're creating your video, it will like you speak along with your presentation. So it will create a video. It will make a very beautiful video of your presentation. Now you see your video and try to evaluate yourself that how is your presentation going and what are the areas where you can improve in your presentation delivery. So this is how you can improve or you can make use of the export option. Okay. Next, if you want to close the window right now, I'm not going to click over close. So it will close my PowerPoint window. So if you want to close your document, you can click on close from here also. Now here it will show on the account tab, it will show me the account details, the name of my account, fine. The subscription right now, which I have, fine. Is there any updates available? What theme I'm using? Okay. So right now I'm using some colorful theme. I can go with black theme, dark gray theme. So you can change all of these things from the account tabs here. If you want to give feedback to Microsoft, you can give feedback using this option. And there are certain setting options available. So there are different setting options available, general, proofing, saving. Okay, it's like, see, if you see auto save is available right now here. Like suppose if you're working on your PowerPoint presentation and you have not saved your presentation and somehow your laptop crashed. So in that case, if your auto save is not open, not activated, in that case, you will be losing all your work. So what Microsoft generally do, Microsoft keeps saving your document in one of the location. This is the location here by default. So in this location, it will keep saving. See, here it is showing me that it is saving my presentation after every 10 minutes. So 10 minutes before whatever I have done, it has made a copy of it in a temporary folder. So if somehow my laptop crashes, I can recover my presentation from this point. Fine. So this is another a very good tool, but for that you need to you need to keep it activated. So similarly, there are different tools available for checking the spelling, grammar, dictionary. Fine. This kind of proofing tool is available. Fine. You can see the dictionary part available here. What kind of dictionary is available? Autocorrect options are available. Suppose if you want to type something and it will, like I work in LPU. In my document, I use LPU a lot of time. Fine. So if I just type LPU and if I click OK or space, it will by default generate a lovely professional university for me. Suppose if you create a typing error in looking, so by default it will correct the word to looking. Fine. So this is how this dictionary, the proofing section will work. So next time, suppose if you use a lot of kind of a symbol word again and again, so you can kind of create a key for that word and just try to type that key. It will generate the whole word for you. Fine. So this is another time saving option available for you. So this is about the interface of Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Now, before moving forward, I would like to take certain questions from you. You have seen interface, the first section of my presentation. Do we have any questions from the crowd? Okay, somebody is asking from where we can download the animated templates. Okay, animated templates. See, I would suggest, Sumit, since we are learning for the very first time, or suppose we are learning from the first section, so I would suggest to try to create your own animated sections. Otherwise, there are a lot of websites available who deliver free templates. There are websites who deliver purchasing templates. There you can download it. Try just a simple Google method. If you apply, you will find the animated templates from there also. But from the beginning part, when you are at the beginning part, I would suggest to go with the animation itself. You do it yourself and try to learn all those tools. Now somebody is saying which view is best when transition is applied on all the slides. Okay, see, when you are applying transition on the slides, the transition will be visible only when you are going to slideshow. Okay, so you can see transitions only when you are in the slideshow. How can we encrypt a PowerPoint file with password? See, for encrypting PowerPoint file, I've just shown you that you can go to File tab. Okay, you can go to File tab in the info section, okay, protect presentation. So here you can encrypt your file with some password. I can type any password and click on OK. So this file will be encrypted. So next time if you're opening this file, it will ask you to enter the password. And once you enter the password, then only this file will come. Otherwise, you will lose the content of this file if you forget the password. Okay, somebody is asking account options. Explain the account options. Okay, see account options. Okay, when I click on account options basically is for some, information. Right now, if you overlook the top portion, let me just start with the laser pointer. If I can open, no issues. If you see on the top of the account option, it is showing user information. Like user information is what is the name of the user, what is the account, what email ID I've used. For here, you can change the photo, you can add something about it. So this is about the information of the user, which you can access from the topmost portion. Then you can set the privacy also. Okay. So again, this is just some things which you can explore on it on yourself. Right? Just a second. There is some glitch I'm observing. Okay. So there are certain drives which are connected to my account. What drives are connected with my account? That has been shown over here. You can see the version which I'm using, which is available on the right hand side. So these are the account options. Try to explore it, not much to tell here. Okay, somebody has asked, what is the role of short note? Okay, see short note. Yes, very good question it is. What is the role of short notes? See, when you open a PowerPoint presentation and it will show you a very small window just below the slide window. Suppose you have made a slide. You are like say I have made this slide, introduction slide, and I want to keep certain keywords in my mind that what I'm going to tell. See, in your presentation, you don't use you don't write entire paragraphs there. Just put certain points in your presentation, and just to remember what is the the big meaning or the explanation for a particular point, you can make notes there, so that when you're revisiting your slide, it is easier for you to recollect those points. Right? That is why those notes will not be shown to your audience, just for you to recollect what points you have included there. All right. So I guess all the questions we have taken. Let's move forward with our presentation. Now you can see the first section of my presentation I have done. So I am again taken out again from my view. You can see the transition again. Now I will move towards the second section of my presentation, which is about formatting the PowerPoint document. Okay, how I can format a document. So when you're into formatting a document, I have given you this example in the very beginning of my of this session, that what things you can format in a document. In a PowerPoint document, you can format a text, you can format images, shapes, you can even format charts and tables, right? So one by one, I will try to give the demonstration of all such formattings, what things you can format here, starting with text, images, shapes, charts, and tables. So let us just one by one try to understand how you can format it, what kind of features available for formatting text, features available for formatting images, shapes, charts, and tables. That is what we are going to understand here. And for this, I'm going to use a kind of a presentation only itself. Directly, I will take let's say I'll take a blank presentation. So in this blank presentation, whenever you open a blank presentation, what is happening? It is giving me a blank slide. This slide has see, there are different layouts in a slide. Just a second, let me just transfer it somewhere. Yeah. So when you see every slide have different layout, if I click here, you can see there are different layouts of the slide. There is a title slide, there is title and content slide, section headers, to content, comparison. So there are by default, some layouts are created for you. For example, suppose if you want to compare two features, let's say I want to compare two features of Microsoft PowerPoint, which is transition and animation. Okay, so I can write some points about transition in this box, some points about animation in this box. So for comparison, so totally depending upon your content, what is the content you have. Suppose if you want to create a title slide, let's say I have created this slide for myself, mastering Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So I can write the title of my presentation or whatever the session I'm going to give. This could be the title of my presentation. There could be subtitle also. If there is no subtitle, I can write my name also. See, this aligns to my title slide. This is the title of my presentation. This is how you can make use of different layouts which are available in this new slide bar. Next slide, I'm going to talk about, let's say, introduction of my presentation. So I can give heading as introduction. Okay, here I can give certain points about introduction also. Like I can give, I'm going to talk about point 1. Then after point 1, I'm going to talk about point 2, point 3, and so on. Fine. So this is how I can create a PowerPoint presentation in the most raw way possible, most simplest way possible. Fine. So this is how we can, use different layouts available in the PowerPoint. Suppose if I want to change this layout to some other layout. So there is an option also. I want to change this title content layout as a slide header layout. So it is showing this as a slide header layout. Right? So it totally depends upon you. What is the content you are going to present? Accordingly, you try to choose a particular layout. I hope it is clear to all of us. So choosing a particular layout is becoming important here. So how do you edit a text? For editing a text, again, it is similar to any word processing software you might have used, like a Google Doc or Microsoft Word or any other tool. When you click inside a text box, it will it is activating all the text editing tools for me. You can select the font, you can select the font size, you can make it bold, italic, underline. There is one option of shadow also. Let's say what shadow does, if I write the heading of my slide, okay, and if I select the heading of my slide, and if I click on shadow option, you see a kind of a shadow is created with my text. Fine. So if you want to give some shadow to your text, just to give a 3D look to the text, you can always go for shadow part also. Fine. Right now it is not looking proper, so I'm removing it. If you want to strike out, you can go for strike out. Fine. How you want your slide to, like your text to be very loosely set or very tightly set. You see the preview also is appearing right now. If you want to if you want to convert entire text into uppercase or entire text into lowercase, if you want to capitalize, if you want to toggle, so everything is available here in the text editing tool. So these tools, I'm not going to talk much about them because you are much familiar about it. If I want to put a bullet, fine. So you are familiar about these things. So no point of explaining about these things in a lot of detail. Very elementary text editing tools. But yes, there are some advanced tools which you can go for text. Like suppose if I generate some content for this slide, let's say some randomly generated text. Let's say this is some randomly generated text I have used. Okay, now how do I format this text? So for formatting this text, there are paragraph formatting available. You can see this is the text box and the entire text is at the top of this box. If I want to if I want to take all the text towards the center of the box, see, from this option, you can go to middle, bottom, you can realign your text as per the position in the text box. Okay, this is a single column. If you want to show your text in 2 columns, or if you want to show your text in 3 columns, if the text is much greater, you can see it in the 3 columns also. Let me just try to do. So you can convert your text in 3 columns also. If you want to change the layout of your text, okay, from horizontal to some rotation, some stacked. So this is how you can make use of the different text formatting. Fine. So if some more options are available, let me just first clear it to single column. Okay. Now, if I clear some of the text and if I take it to the top, now you see this is a text box and the content is available right at the top of this box. But what I need is I want to give some margin from the top and some margin from the left to this text. So how I can give margin to this text? Okay. So how I can give margin to this text? You just select the text like this, right click, and there is an option of format shape. Otherwise, there are, just select the text box, click on here, format shape, right click, and you will see format shape. So when I click on format shape, it is giving me another box coming over here. You can see this another box, which is written as format shape, is shown on the right side of my screen. Now there are two options available, shape options and text options. So clearly I want to give margin to the text. So I'm going to text options. And within the text option, again, there are three options available: text fill and outline, text effect, and text box. So I will go to the text box option. And here you can see some margin options available: left margin, right margin, top margin. So if I want to increase some top margin, let's say right now it is 0.05 inches. So instead of 0.05 inches, if I give 0.2 inches, you see slight increase in the margin from the top. Okay. See, this is how you can change the margin from the top. You can change margin from the left. Fine. So this is how you can change the margin also. Okay. Here you are seeing that this is the text available here. Fine. Right now, try to notice the text, the font size is Calibri and text size is 28. Fine. Now, if I copy and paste some of the text again, you see after the third pasting, right now I have pasted twice. Now, if I paste thrice, you see the font size has reduced automatically. Automatically, the font size has reduced, right? If I paste it once again, see again the font size has reduced. So what Word is doing very intelligently, it is trying to keep the content within the text box itself. Okay, so for that it has to shrink the text. So right now the setting of this box is also like this. If you see the right portion, shrink text on overflow. Instead of shrinking, if I go for do not autofit, so what it is showing, see the text is overflowing my text box. Fine. So it is totally depending upon you, what kind of things you need or what kind of setting you need in case of managing your text. You can choose a particular setting here. Mostly by default, you will see shrink text to overflow. So accordingly, the text will shrink here. Fine. So these are certain text settings which I wanted to convey here. Some from basic to advanced, you can understand. You see automatically the text is overflow. And then I have chosen the shrink option. So the text box is resized up according to the text size. So these are the text editing or formatting text in your. Okay, somebody's asked that how the font size was changing at the backend. See, for that only you can see here, there are three options: do not auto fit, shrink text, or resize text. If you keep the shrink text shrink text on overflow activated, and if you try to add text here, let's say, let me again add some text by random generation of the text. I'm using some formula to generate the text here. See, this formula says that I'm going to generate one paragraph having 6 sentences in each paragraph. Fine. So you can see one paragraph and 6 sentences. First sentence, second sentence, and if you count, it will be 6. So right now it is 28, the font size. If I copy this sentence and I click, it is 28. But if I copy it once again, if I paste it once again, you see the font size has reduced to 24. Why? Because I have logged my text box to a setting of shrink text. So text is shrinking, the box is unaffected. Fine. So this is how we can edit the text inside the PowerPoint presentation, how you can format the text. Even there are certain options like you can go with designing of the text. You can use very fancy kind of text also available. You can give shadow, reflection to your text. You can give different color to your text. Suppose if you want to give some other color to your text. Right now the lazy was selected. Otherwise, if I select the entire text box and then if I try to change the color, the entire text will change. Okay, if I want to make them bold, entire box will change. But let's say if I just want to change the color of this second paragraph's first line, and if I want the color to be black, so individually I have to select. If you select the entire box setting will change. And if you individually change the sentence, the individual sentence will change. All right. So this is how we can format the text in the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. Next thing which we have seen is, just a second, if I take you back to my presentation. Yeah. See text. Next, you can edit or you can format the images also. A lot of time when you are making your PowerPoint presentation or you're making presentation, you might need to include images in your presentation. So how to work with images in your presentation? Let's see. From very basic, we will start. Again, I'll use some random slides. Let me take a random blank slide, or let's take this title and content slide. I'm going to talk about formatting images. Okay, this is my heading. Now, for formatting images, first of all, I have to bring the image in the PowerPoint. How can you bring image in PowerPoint? So in this text box, there are buttons available. You can see pictures, stock images. Fine, I can click any of them. So if I click on this, it will ask me to select picture from my system. Okay, if suppose, let's say if I select one of the picture here. So it has selected one picture. This is a picture of a engine exhaust system, a muffler. Fine. So it's a three-way catalytic converter. So this is a picture. Suppose I was making my presentation to explain three-way catalytic converter. There I need to use a picture. So this picture I have used. Now I can resize this picture by dragging the edges, corners like this. Now there is one thing I want to convey to all of you, which is the most frequent mistake which people do generally is they can start dragging the picture from any point. Let's say if I drag the picture from the right side, you see the aspect ratio of the picture has changed. Okay, whenever you are resizing the picture, try to keep the aspect ratio constant. What is aspect ratio? Aspect ratio is ratio of width by height. If you're not keeping your aspect ratio constant, it may, the picture will completely look different and it may look bad also. So to keep the aspect ratio constant, try to drag your pictures from the corner, from any of the corner, or otherwise press control from the keyboard and then try to, expand your picture. So in that, sorry, not control, keep shift and try to expand your picture. So this is how you can keep the aspect ratio of the picture constant. So this is one way of, inserting the image. You can insert the image from the top also. There is insert tab from the ribbon. And again, there is a picture option, insert picture. And here there are three options available. If I suppose instead of using the picture from my system, if I want to use picture from online images, so I can either go from insert picture, online picture, or either I can go for searching. So if I'm going for searching, okay, so I can go for searching and I can find about any picture which are available online. I can search about any picture also, or I can look for any picture. Let's say if I go for this picture here. So from the internet, it has downloaded this picture and it has presented this picture here. Now, when you are having the picture, when you have updated a picture in your slide, you will see one additional tab available in your presentation, which is called as picture format. When I am not selecting the picture, you can see this tab was not available there. This tab is not available, format picture. But as soon as I click on my picture, select my picture, format picture tab is available in front of me. And if I go on format picture, it will show me a whole lot of other options. Like if I want to, change the style of my picture. Right now it is a square picture. I can go for changing the size, the style, the presentation, the availability, everything you can go for choosing the picture in any possible way. Let's say if I'm using this way, if I want to increase the cutout section, if I want to give it some 3D rotation also, let's say like this, or let's say like this, a slight rotation. Fine. So this is how my picture looks like. So this is how you can work with your picture. Even there are some picture editing tools are available. You can recolor your picture. You can apply correction in your picture. Fine. You can compress the picture. You can set the transparency of the picture. Fine. When I'm increasing the transparency, that means right now background color is white, so it is making my picture white. If I'll make the background as black, let's say if I make my background as black, fine. And then if I increase the transparency of my image, let's say, okay. So what is it is doing? It has, see, when I have used the picture style, it has done applied a white background to my picture. Let's say if I remove it, and then if I increase the transparency of my picture, let me just take another picture once again. Okay. So if I make the background black or any other color you want to make, and then if you want to increase the transparency of the picture, you can increase the transparency from here also and from the top also. If I'm increasing the transparency of my picture to 100%, you see the picture has become dark. Why it has become dark? Because picture is 100% transparent, and transparent means it is showing you the background color. If I change my background color from black to, let's say, a blue, so picture has also turned blue. If I retransparent, if I reduce the transparency of my picture, you will see the picture once again. So this is how you can work with images also. Try to explore all the tools which are available for editing picture. There is one more very important tool available on the picture, which is about cropping the image. Sometimes you may need to crop. Let's say, for example, my slide size is right now. If you want to see the slide size, you can always go to design, and slide size option is available. Right now my slide size is 16:9. This is the aspect ratio. Fine. So if I want this picture to cover entire slide, okay, suppose if you want to make it as a background image, this picture as a background image, you want this picture to cover the entire slide. But when I am increasing the size of this image, keeping the aspect ratio constant, it is not covering the entire size. Now you might be stretching it like this, but when you're stretching it like this, you can see the shape of the glass has changed. The glass is not looking exactly like in the original picture. So how can I make this entire picture as the background? So for this, you can go to crop, and in the crop, there is an option of aspect ratio. So you can crop your picture as per the aspect ratio also. If you remember, my slide size is 16:9. So I can crop this picture as aspect ratio of 16:9. So it has shown me a boundary that you can crop your picture in this manner. So if I'm okay with this, I can always go to the top corner of this slide and I can stretch it from the corner. Just a second. Now you see, this picture is covering entire slide. Okay, this could be my background. I can use this picture as the background. Okay, and then I can use some text over it. How can I use some text over it? I'm going to talk about formatting shapes. So in my presentation, I can use shapes from this home icon. From the home tab, you can go to shape. And if I'm taking a square shape here, let me take the square shape from here. And if I put the square shape over the entire picture, you see the entire picture is covered with this shape. Now, this shape has certain outline, a blue outline. Right now, if I show you from here, this is containing a blue outline. If I remove the outline, and again, the shape also contains, there is some option for shape. You can right click and format shape. There is certain option for the shape also. The similar one which I have shown for the text margining. So if you see format shape, there is an option of transparency. So if I increase the transparency of my shape, you can see, I can see the picture at the background. As I'm increasing the transparency, I can see the picture in the background. Fine. I just want some transparency, like say, if I just want some 30-40% transparency, let's say 26% transparency. And if I change the color of my shape to black, so it is showing some black background to my picture, to my slide. And if I want to add some text, even if you go again to home, shape, and there is an option of text box. If I select a text box, if I draw a text box here, okay, and if I want to write something about my slide, okay, so I can write like something, literally something about my slide. So I'm typing something, but it is, since the font color is also black, it is not, it is not giving a good appeal. So if I can change the color of my text to white, and if I can increase the font size, okay, and I can set it to the center of the slide, you see how appealing it looks. How can you design? You can put a picture at the background. You can, reduce its effect by just putting this box. I have reduced the effect so that the emphasis could go to my text only, not on the image. But on the background, I can show a relevant image, that this is a topic and this is a relevant image on the topic. If you remember my presentation also, when I have given the example of Nelson Mandela, if I take you back to my presentation, okay, there are different ways of going back to the presentation. Here also you can see all slides. So if I show you this image and the image previous to that, what I have done, I have used the picture of Nelson Mandela at the background. I have put some black color to this side, and then I have added some text. So this is how you can format text, image, as well as shape. If I show you this particular presentation, what I have done, this is the shape, a black shape, this is the image, and this is the text. So how I have formatted, I have worked with image, shape, as well as text in this image. So if you know all the appropriate tools, you can clearly create your images also, your content also. Okay. So next time, suppose if you have to show something like this, if you want to create something like this, you can make use, like if I can go with the image, I can copy an image here. Okay, let's say I can copy the image and I can go back to my presentation. Let's say this was my presentation. I will start with a very blank presentation. Okay, this is the image I want to use. Now I want to cover this image with a black shape. Okay, so I will use a shape. Okay, I will change the color to black, but it is covering Nelson Mandela, right? It is also covering the face of Nelson Mandela. So for that case, I will right click over here and I will go to format shape and I'll try to increase the transparency. As I'm increasing the transparency, I can see the face of Nelson Mandela, but it is not looking as exactly what we have seen in my presentation. In my presentation, we have seen like this portion is not visible. Okay, it is still black, only this portion is visible. So how I am able to get it done? So for that case, these shapes which we are using, they are having different fills. Okay, you see no fill, that means there is no color to my shape. If I want to add color to my shape, I can use solid fill and you can choose any particular color. There is different kind of fill also available. A gradient fill. What is a gradient fill? If I click on gradient fill, you can see different types of colors on the same shape. I have a white color, I have some blue colors. Okay, if I change the color, let's say to some random significant colors, you see I can give different color to the same shape at the same time. Fine. So I can create an entire rainbow here. Fine. I can create 7 colors. I can make more tabs. I can create an entire rainbow on the shape. So using the gradient feature, we can do a whole lot of different coloring to the same shape, Fine. So what I did in my presentation, I have chosen more tab controls, more positions. Fine. And I have given black color to all those colors. So I've given black to here also. I have given black to this also. And I have given black to this also. There are 3 colors I can choose. I have given black to all of them. Now, in one of the colors, I have increased the transparency to, let's say, 80%. Okay. So right now you can see the transparency is vertical. I want the transparency to be horizontal. So for that, again, you can see here, there are options available: vertical, sideways, horizontal. So I can go for direction. What direction I need? I need a sideways transition. Fine. So this is how I can work with Nelson Mandela's picture. Right. Now I can add the text onto the left-hand side. So I'm just going to copy my text. So this is how you can create a background image, how you can format a background image, how you can use a shape box, and how you can make use of a gradient fill on your shape box. Okay. So try to understand what all sort of features are available in Microsoft, and they are very effective. They are very, you can work very fast with them. You don't have to consume a lot of time to create these things. Right. So right now, so far we talked about editing lot many things. Let me just go back to the point where we were discussing this thing. Yeah. So here we were talking about, just a second. Yeah. Formatting the document. And here we talked about text, images, shapes. Now for next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about how you can edit tables and charts in the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Suppose you have done some work, your project was based on some numbers, data, you need to create bar charts or line charts there. So there you may need to include tables and charts also. So how do you include tables and charts in your presentation? That is what we are going to discuss in the remaining section. Fine. So again, for that, I'm just going to give you a demonstration. For demonstration, I will take my rough slide which I'm using here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take some blank slide. I want to create a table. Okay. So let's say I will put a heading, creating table. Right. Now again, in this box, you can see some options, some buttons are given here. So first button is about inserting a table. So when I click here, it is asking me how many columns and rows do I need in my table. Okay. So let's say for by default, if I go with, I need 4 columns, and totally depend upon your data set, what data you have. So I need a 4 row and 4 column table here. So you see a kind of a layout it is generated by default. It has generated this kind of layout for my table. Fine. Though whenever the table is created, another additional tab is added. Like just for the images, you remember format picture tab was generated. Here the table tab is generated, table design as well as layout. When the table is not selected, you will see that tab is not available. But as soon as you select the table, these 2 additional tabs will come into picture. Fine. So you can format the design of your table by going to table design. If I go to table design, just a second. If I go to table design, you see what different color schemes I can use for my table. Whatever suits you, you can go for that. Fine. You can you can go for different kind of border in your table. If you want all the borders, if you want just outside border, if you want thick borders, thin borders, just left side border. Okay. These kind of features are available for designing the table inside the table design. Right now, let's say if I'm going for no border at all. Fine. So this is how my table going to look like. Now in this table, I can add some data. And if you see very intelligently, PowerPoint what has done is the top row, it has taken the top row as bold, very bold color, dark bold color, so that people can understand that these are the header of my table. Let's say if I want to create my table for monthly expenses. Fine. So this is a table for my monthly expenses. So in the first column, I will write the sources of my expenses. What are the sources of my expenses? Now monthly expenses. So I can create, now the next column could be expenses of January month. Next column is expenses of February month, and expenses of month of March. Now in the second row, sources, I can write like in the January month, I have paid rent. Okay. Then I have paid, let's say I have paid for my entertainment. I have gone outside. I have taken a trip, something like that. I have gone for watching a movie, entertainment, and some savings. Okay, so I have done some spelling error. Fine. So these are the sources of my expenses. Let's say for the month of January, I have paid my rent as, let's say, 8,000 rupees. I spend a sum of, let's say, 3,000 rupees in my entertainment. And let's say I have saved somewhere around 6,000 rupees from my salary for the month of January. Right. Similarly, for the month of February, I paid the same rent. Some guests have turned out in February, so entertainment expenditure have increased, let's say from 3,000 to, let's say, 4,500, and saving has compromised here, let's say, to 4,500. And similarly, if I add a data, let's say my landowner, the house owner has told me that he's going to increase the rent from the next month, from the March month, so I have to pay 500 extra to him. And again, I have spent somewhere around 3,000 rupees for entertainment, and I have saved around, let's say, 5,500 for the month of March. So this is how I can create the table, right? And if I want to, redesign the table, that you can do. This is my table for monthly expenditure. Now, see, this is my expenditure. One of my friend came and he was discussing his expenditure also. So I have started created his expenditure also. Okay. This is my expenditure. I want to create table for my friend also as an expenditure. So what I will do, I will go for insert table. Should I go like this? Okay. Again, the same headers I'm going to use: sources, January, February, March. Here I will use sources. So should I go for writing these things once again? Definitely no. I want to work, fast. I want to optimize my work. So what I can do is I can select my table and I can press Control plus D. Control plus D. So it will create a duplicate of my table. There is a shortcut, Control plus D. So it will create duplicate of this table. So I can go move this table down and I can enter the values of the expenditure of my friend. Fine. So this is how I can create another table very quickly. Okay, so keyboard shortcut is Control plus D, right? Let me write it for you. You need to press Control and D button. to duplicate anything on the PowerPoint. Suppose if you want to duplicate this slide, I will select this slide and Control D. This slide will be duplicate, right? So for that case, if you want to duplicate anything on the PowerPoint, you press Control plus D. Other than this, if you want to, duplicate it, the table, so you select the table, press Control and drag your table to any other position. So it has created a duplicate. So this is how you can create duplicate of your table. Let's say for my friend, his rent is higher than my rent. So let's say he spent 10,000. Very quickly, I'm filling it up. So he has a better salary than me. He spent higher in entertainment also. He has a lesser tendency to save. Okay. So let's say his rent was again 10,000 in Feb. Then he compared with my rent. He fought with his landowner. So his rent was reduced to 9,000. So these are the table for my expenditure and my friend's expenditure. But the thing is, if I send this presentation to a third person, now how the third person is going to understand which table belongs to whom? Now, which table belongs to Arpit and which table belongs to Arpit's friend? So in that case, if I give some title, some heading to my table, that would be better. Okay. So how can I give heading to this table? Either I can go for applying a text box. I can go for applying a text box, and here I will write my name and my friend's name. That could be one of the possible way, but I should use the header in my table itself, that this is Arpit's expenditure and this is friend's expenditure. So for that case, it would be better if I use a row at the top to tell the title of the table. So in that case, what you can go is, you can select the table, go to table design. Just a second. Okay. So what I was telling you, that if I want to give title to my table, I can just select the table. I can go to table design and table layout. So in the table layout, you will see some more options are available. A lot of options are available. Here you can see delete option is available, insert options are available, merge, split, so many options are available. So if I want to insert a row above this first row, so I can go to the first row, I can click on insert above. You see there is the row inserted above. The entire table is shifted down. Fine. Now here I can write the table heading. Let's say I can write it is Arpit's expenditure. Fine. So this is my expenditure. And similarly, this is my friend's expenditure. So I can write above. Friends' expenditure. Right. So this is how I can give heading to my table. But wouldn't it be okay, or wouldn't it be good if this heading is coming at the center of the table rather than on the sides? So can I put this to the center of my table? Let's try to do. If I use the center portion, it is not taking the text to the center. So how can I put my heading towards the center of the table? Can someone suggest this? Merge cell. Very good. So if you go to layout again, there is an option of merge. So if I select my table, I can go to layout and there is an option of merge. But right now it is not activated. If you see, it is not activated. For merging, I have to select what things I want to merge. I want to merge all those 4 columns on the top row. First row, all 4 columns I want to merge, then it will merge. Similarly, for my friends also, it will merge like this. And then you can move it towards the center of the table. Fine. So this is how you can compare the expenditure, or you can draw different tables on the PowerPoint, right? Yeah, it works same. The features of table is similar just to an Excel, even when you are drawing the chart. Next topic is drawing the charts. Let's say if I do it here itself, making charts or creating charts in PowerPoint. So in the earlier versions, in the very older versions of PowerPoint, these options were not available. These are available after let's say 2003 or somewhere after that. So creating chart was also not available, not the part of PowerPoint. That is why we need to demonstrate here. So creating chart, how do you create a chart in PowerPoint? So again, there are buttons I can use. So you can use insert a chart, insert chart option is available. If I click over it, it will show me all sort of chart which are same in the Excel, available in the Excel. Also, all of you have understood Excel. You have taken different workshops, masterclass on Excel. So you can rightly create the chart here also. So if I click on any chart, okay. If I click on any chart and if I'm clicking on okay, it is going to generate a chart with some sample data, any sample data, random data. So I can modify this data. If you see, this is similar to what I have created in my table also. This is my, let's say this is my rent. This is entertainment. Let's say this is savings. Okay. And this is other expenses, let's say. Fine. And these series are like January, February, March, and something like that. So let's say it is for the month of Jan, Feb, and March. Let's say some amount if I fill. Any random amounts. It will start creating the chart also. You can see side by side it is creating the chart. See, the chart is created. Okay. Now how this chart is created? Just when I clicked on insert chart, and it has opened a kind of a Excel spreadsheet itself. I can edit the value, enter the value, and I can put it over here. And similarly, the chart is created. Now if I close the chart and if I take you back to my presentation, okay, so this is how the chart is created. Now, suppose if you have entered some value wrongly, if you want to edit the data, so again, you can always, while selecting the chart, you can always go to this chart design, and there's an option of edit data. When I click on edit data, it will again reopen that spreadsheet, the data spreadsheet, and you can always edit the data here, right? So this is how it has created the chart. Now, in the same way, you can format the chart in the same way you do with your Power Excel. Okay, so same way. So I'm not going much deeper into this, how you can format the charts. The same way you can do it in the Excel. Here also you can do it the same way, right? So keeping my timelines shorter, I will move to the next topic. So this is how you can work with charts and tables in PowerPoint. All right. So let's see, are there any questions before moving to the next topic? Details heading is not looking like details. Okay. I'm not getting you, Gautam. Details heading is not like looking like details. Okay. Fine. Okay. Moving on towards the next topic. See, the second part of the presentation is done. Now the next part is applying transition and animation. You can apply different sort of transitions and animations in your presentation. But before understanding transition and animation, you should be clear about the difference between transition and animation. So do we know any difference about transition and animation? How transition is different from animation? If somebody can answer. What is your point? How you can differentiate that this is transition and this is animation? Yes, if somebody can answer, please answer in the chat. What is the difference between transition and animation? Okay, somebody has responded. Let's see. Transition applies on picture. Transition is done between slides. Transition is for sheets or pages, and animation is for images and pictures. Transition is for background. Animation is specific effect that applies to single element on a slide. Okay, very beautifully answered by Pranshu. Okay, most of you are right. See, transition, whenever you are shifting from one slide to another slide, there could be some kind of effect you can put while transitioning between slides. That is why it is named as transition. But animation is, suppose you're working on the same slide and suppose there are elements on the slide like a picture, a shape, a text, fine. So if you want to, give some effect to those elements on the same slide, so that is called as animation. That is the basic difference between, like here I can show you in my slide. what you see, this is, I have shifted between from one slide to another slide. This is transition, right? This is a right transition. Now, next, if you see, this is animation, because on the same slide, you see the objects moving. This is animation, right? So clear difference between transition and animation is, a transition is, it's the effect applied and demonstrated while transitioning between different slides. While the animation, it is the effect demonstrated on the particular slide for interacting with contents present. Okay, so what content you are presenting on a slide, and if you want to, apply some effect to that, that is animation. So I hope it is clear to us. Transition and animation, I have just given you the beautiful example also, the best possible way. Okay, moving on. What features are available for transition and what features are available for animation? Let us just try to discuss. If you see this image, these are the different type of transitions available in PowerPoint. We will try to make use of them. Like suppose if you apply any of the transition, this is how your slide is going to change. If I demonstrate this using a rough presentation, let's say, see, I have four slides in my presentation so far. So in the second slide, let's say if I go to transition, again, in the ribbon, you see a tab, transition tab is available. Okay, transition tab is available. If I click on transition tab, you see all sorts of transition tabs, transition features available. Now, let's say if I go for a simple push. So you see the preview, the slide is pushed upwards. If you want to push the slides downwards, so there could be like this. If you want to push the slides left, fine. Similarly, if you want to, if you don't want push, if you want random bars, if you want cut, if you want reveal, if you want split, so all of these transitions are available. These are very subtle transition. Like suppose if I'm giving this presentation from last 1.5 hours, there could be people who are very bored and who might be not interested in my presentation so far. So in that case, if I want to draw their attention back, I can go for some exciting, some dynamic kind of transitions. Like if I show you, let's say if I go with a fracture, see a kind of a fracture, the screen kind of a fractured here. So in that case, what is happening? If I apply a slideshow, and somehow if I can apply a sound also, see here some sound options are also available. So I can apply for glass breaking sound, a bomb sound, fine. So when I play it, a kind of a bomb explosion as well as the breakage, a fracture will be shown. So this is just to bring back the attention. But again, to keep your presentation more professional, you should go for a subtle kind of transitions. In some rare occasions, you can go for exciting kind of transitions also. Right? So this is how transition works. Okay. So obviously, yeah, I talked about sounds also. When you, along with this transition, if you want to apply certain sounds, you can always go with the sounds. I have not applied any sounds in my current presentation because again, some mic issues. I need to change the mic from one speaker to another speaker. That is why I have not used the sound, but still you should try for hitting the different sound options also. Fine. So the transition is done. Even you can set the time. See, like suppose if I use this transition, wind. Okay. So you can reduce the time effect of this wind from 2 minutes to, you see how fast it has done. If I go back to like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, it will be slower. So this is how you can work with transition and their time differences. Fine. So this is about transition. Next, I'm going to talk about is animation. So animation is also available at the top. And to demonstrate the animation, I may use certain text, I may use certain shapes and charts also. So for using shapes, let's say, okay, I'm going to demonstrate animations here. And let's say I want to give some text, a one sentence text, and I need, let's say I need 5 paragraphs of 1 sentence each. Okay. So this is the text I have used. Now I want to animate this text. As while giving the presentation, you want that at one point only, see, at a time, one point should come so that you can keep the attention of the audience to that particular point. Otherwise, what will happen if I show this presentation? Your audience is reading, some of the people are reading first point, some people might be reading second point, some people might be reading third point, and you are demonstrating fourth point. So in that case, the distraction of the audience could be there. So if you want to keep your audience with you, you can go with applying the animations. In that case, you want only one point should come at a time. So in that case, you can select the entire text like this, or you can select the entire text box also. Okay, and go to animation. Here you can have different type of animation. Largely animations are categorized as entrance, emphasis, exit, and motion path. So these are the 4 categories of animation. Now, if you want your text to enter one at a time, so you can go for entrance kind of animations instead of emphasis, motion path, or exit. So in the entrance, I have different kind of animations: appear, fade, fly in, float in. So people can generally prefer for any one of the subtle kind of transitions. Like say some of them are fade, fly in. My preference personally is wipe. If I go for wipe, fine. So you can see one by one the points are getting wiped. And since these are the sentences, people are reading the sentences from left to right. So I can change the direction of wipe from bottom to from left. So next time, if I play this slide, I can explain my first point, then I can explain my second point, third point, fourth point, and so on. So I can retain the attention of the audience by using the animation. So this is the basic purpose of animation. I hope it is clear to us. Okay. So this is the whole purpose of animation, to retain the attention. Now, other than retaining the attention, you want to make your presentation more interactive so that people will guess what is going to happen next. What is going to happen next? In that case, you can use different kind of examples. For example, I show my initial presentation, which I have shown you. Let's say this example. In that case, you see this introduction points I have shown you. In the introduction point, I have shown you that this is about PowerPoint presentation, created by this, released in this and this. Fine. If I show this presentation in the same way, these points in the same way, but if I show you, like, let's say, just a second. Yeah. See, these are the points which I have shown you. You see, I have applied certain animations here also. When I'm showing nothing, all the text are lighter. But when I'm on the first point, the first point is darkened, second point is darkened, first is lightened, third is darkened. So these are the animations I have put so that I can retain the attention of the audience. At the same time, I can represent this work in different way also. Here I can show you some example. You see, Microsoft PowerPoint is a presentation program. It is created by these people. It was released in this year, and Microsoft has acquired this. See again how interactive I have made this presentation, or the same content, using the animation and shapes also. Obviously, I've used some shapes, right? So using the animation and shapes, you can make your presentation more interactive. So this is just one example how you can make use of animations and presentation. I hope people are getting it. All right. So this is all about animations and presentation. You can simply create all sort of animations. Like suppose if I want to create a game, let's say if I want to create a game, a kind of a very silly game, I can say a silly game. Let's say this is a square box I have used. Now in the shape format tool, I can go for format shape. Here, there are certain options available for formatting the shape. One of the option is 3D rotation. I can go for 3D rotation. I can go for something like this. Okay. And again, similar kind of shape I can create here also. Okay. Again, I can give a 3D rotation to this one also. A very silly game I'm going to create. Do not lose your patience. So see, I have used 2 boards. Let me just color them differently so that you can understand. Okay, these are the 2 boards, and I can create a kind of a ball. Okay, let me create a ball here. Okay, so for creator should be same. Yeah, so this is a ball. Fine. Now I can give some style to the ball also. For that, I can go to 3D format. I will try to make this ball as 3D. Okay. So if I want to make this ball as 3D, I need to do certain calculation. Right now you can see 0.7 is the diameter of this ball. So if I multiply this 0.7 with 36, I'm getting a number of 25.2. So right now, see, I have selected a bevel design. So if I give the width and height at least 25. You see, I've calculated 25. So at least 25.2 or greater than 25.2, it's 26. If I give 26 to the bevel and even to the bottom bevel also, you see the ball has the circle has converted into a ball, a sphere. It gives the appearance of a ball. Fine. Now what I need is I need this ball to oscillate from one point to another, from one board to another board. How can I do that? I can give animation to this ball to move from one point to another point, right? I need this ball to oscillate between these two boards. Okay. So for that, in that case, I will give animation to this ball. How can I give animation to this ball to move in a particular direction? So I'll go to animation. What type of animation is available for directional move? I want to give movement from one point to another point. Let's say if I want to explain it, I want this ball to move initially from this board to this board and from this board to this board automatically. Okay. So for that, I will give some animation to this ball. Let's say I'll go to animation. Okay. I want movement, a fixed movement. So for that, there is animation of motion path. So I'll select a linear motion. Right now, by default, it is going down. The ball is going down, but instead of going down, I want this ball to go towards right. So the ball is going towards right, right? So this is how the ball can move. So if I play this slide, you will see that on the click, the ball is moving towards right. But I want this ball to come back also. How can I make this ball to come back? Okay, how can I make this ball to come back? Okay, keeping the ball selected, you see I have applied one animation and there is an option of effect option and then there is a button. So it will show you some additional option. If I click on this button, you see it is showing auto reverse. There is an option of auto reverse. So I can click on auto reverse and I can click on OK. So you see the preview. And even if I play it on the slideshow, you see the ball is moving from one location and it is returning back to the another location. So you can kind of create a silly game also. So these are the features of animation, how you can use animation in different way. All right. So let me take you back to my presentation where we were discussing it step by step. So in animation, we have three kinds of animation we just discussed. Entrance, emphasis, exit, and four kind of animation: entrance, emphasis, exit, and motion path, where you can define a particular motion for an object. Fine. So let me take you to all the slides. So we have covered the interface part, the formatting part, transition part. Now we are on to the last part where I'm going to talk about slide master and smart art. Now this is kind of a slightly advanced part of Microsoft PowerPoint. I was telling you in the beginning of my presentation that I will try to touch the advanced part also. So Microsoft PowerPoint gives some feature which is called as smart art and another feature slide master. So basically, if you remember, I told you at the very beginning, what you prefer while making a presentation, audience as well as the presenter prefer that their presentation should be uniform. That means if I'm using a particular class of font, let's say if I'm using only Times New Roman, so I should use Times New Roman throughout my presentation. Okay, if I'm using a kind of a color combination, I'm using a blue and orange color for my presentation. So if I'm throughout using a blue and orange color for my presentation, your presentation will look uniform. So in that case, what you will do, you will set the theme of your presentation using the slide master. Slide master will help you in selecting the theme of your presentation, setting the theme of your presentation. So how do you access it? From where you can access the slide master? That is what we are going to see. Okay. So here in presentation part, if you go to the top view, under the view tab, you will see slide master. Okay. When you are seeing slide master, it is opening some another window. This a new window will open up. And here you can see a kind of a layout. You remember different layouts we have talked about, 9 layouts we have talked about. So first slide is a bigger slide and then there are smaller slides. So if you hover your mouse over different slides, it will tell you the name also. So first one is the title slide. Next one is the title and content layout. Okay, section header layout, to content layout. So these are the different layouts available in my slide master. Suppose the title right now, if you see the title, the font is Calibri and size is 44. I want my title font not Calibri. Let's say I want some fancy font. The font I have recently used is MSS MT Pro, and I want the heading of each of my slide to be bold. Okay, let's say italic also. So I want each of the heading to be bold and italic. So if I do it at the only this position, all the headings will change. And similarly, see here the font is, let's say Calibri again. Here I want not Calibri, the body I want to be Barn script or any other slide, any other font. And I want the line spacing. See, they are very closely placed. These lines are very closely placed. I want some scattered line spacing. Okay, some distant line spacing. So for that, I will go to home. In the text editing tool, there is a line sizing, line spacing. I will select 1.5. So what I have done, only one position I have changed. And if I close this master view, slide master view, and next slide, whatever next slide I will take from the layout, let's say this layout, you see the font has changed. Okay, even the text is also changed. If I try to create now some paragraph, you see the line spacing has changed. The font is changed to Barn script now. It is not Calibri anymore. And here it is emphasis and italic bold. So it can keep your presentation uniform in terms of font type. Okay, the design of this of the text. Suppose you are making your and a company has a logo. Your company has a logo. Fine. What you need is that logo to be there on each slide. So what you are going to do? You're going to copy and paste your logo on each slide? No. Fine. Again, for that we have some. You can use Slide Master. You can go to View, Slide Master, and you can place the logo of your company to anywhere on your slideshow. Now, let's say if I search for any image as a logo, as a substitute logo of a logo, let's say I'll insert an image from online pictures. Okay, it's taking some time. Let's say I search for a logo. Okay, let's say I choose the first logo here. Let's say I work in Apple. I'm making a presentation for Apple. So I can use this as my logo in each slide. I need this in each slide. Okay, so I can place it anywhere judicially, wherever it suits my presentation or my content. And then I can click my slide master, close my slide master. You will see this logo has appeared on all the slides. Even any slide you will take, it will be appearing. Fine. So you can make use of this. Sometimes you see at the background a watermark kind of a thing is available on the slides that it is confidential or copyrighted. So similar kind of things you can do on your presentation also. Let's say if I want to apply a copyright image on each of my slide. So again, I'll go to View, Slide Master. Okay, I can insert an image here, keeping my master slide selected. I can insert a picture which says, let's say, confidential, let's say. Okay, let's say I use this image. So confidential has came at the center, but see, if I add any text over it, the text will be hidden behind the picture. So I should keep my picture to be subtle. Okay, as less effective as possible. So for that, I can increase the transparency of the picture. If you remember picture editing tool, I can use the transparency of a picture up to, let's say, 90%. Now, if any text I will put, it will not, it will not be hidden by the confidential picture. Now this confidential will go on each of my slide. Okay, so this is how you can put confidential or any other watermark on your picture. So this is another, you can say, another concept of slide master. Now, I have also told you slide smart art. Fine. So for smart art, understanding the smart art, and it will really help you in a big way. How can you make smart art? Suppose you have a text of single lines. You have different points. Let's say you have 5 points, one line or one sentence like this. Okay. So you have these 5 points in your presentation, but you don't want to show them in this way, because I have learned presentation in so high, in a depth, that I don't want the simple kind of design. I want my presentation to be look quirky or look different, look advanced. So in that case, you can convert the text into smart art. Now, to convert the text into smart art, you can select the text. Under the home section, there is an option of convert to smart graphic. Fine. There I can choose. So many layouts are available. Fine. List, process, cycle. So in that case, suppose if I choose any, let's say if I choose a process, and in process, let's say if I choose something like this, fine. So it will generate a kind of a smart art. If you are not satisfied with this art, you can convert your art like this. If you're totally not agreeing with this one, you can go for some other options like this. Or I have a better option, let's say this one. Okay. So this is how you can show your points. Okay. This is how you can convert your points. If you remember in my presentation also, I just shown you this slide, particular slide. So these 4 points I have converted using the smart art itself. And then you can apply the animation to this smart art. Okay. How you can apply animation to this smart art? You can go to select, you can select this smart art. You can go to animation and you can click any of the animation. Let's say if I click wipe from left. So what is it is happening? It is showing the entire slide into one, but you want that at a time one box should appear. So in that case also you can go to effect option and you can select one by one. So when you select one by one, so one by one each box will come. Okay. If I play it here, you see first box, you explain the first box, second box, explain the second box, third box, and explain it like this. Right. You can give it like this. Or suppose if you want to give it more better look, some more different look, you can go for some kind of presets available in the PowerPoint. You can give it a 3D look. You can give it a rotation. Okay, you can give this arrow a kind of a rotation like this. Fine. So it will make your presentation look little different. These boring points are now looking different as compared to the previous one. This is a better presentation of your points. Right. So try to learn more tools, try to explore all the tools which we have covered in this presentation today. And we will try to, learn or try to make these points more interactive here. So I'm done with my presentation. I can open the session for questions if people are having any questions. Okay, any questions? Okay, people are asking for attendance link, so I would request Asim sir to provide them the list, the attendance list. Thank you for understanding the importance of the session. See, this will help. This session will help you in while you are making your presentation next time, or suppose if most of you are working also. So in the next time you are making your office presentation, this will help you in a great way. Okay, guys. Okay, so I am taking a leave. Let's see what is rest left with you.
Thank you, Arpit sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions if you want to ask to Arpit sir? So I'll again tell everybody to just fill the attendance form and as well as the feedback form so that we can get your valuable feedback also. I have shared both links in the chat, so you can just go through the links and upload your information. So Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Arpit sir. Thanks for sharing your expertise on mastering PowerPoint presentation with us today. Your presentation was extremely informative and engaging. I hope students will find your tip and tricks for creating effective PowerPoint presentation to be incredibly helpful and practical. Even they will also learn a lot of things, and it will make them confident about using PowerPoint for their future presentation after hearing your insight and advice. Your guest lecture was an inspiration to all our students, and they will feel grateful for the this opportunity to learn from you. And again, I would like to thanks Ginny ma'am, Senior Director, Center of Distance Education and Online, Manish sir, Additional Director for Center of Distance and Online, and Dr. Ajay Bamba sir, my seniors and colleagues for encouraging us to organize valuable workshop for the students of Center for Distance Education and Online. Thanks, dear student who have attended the workshop. Please, I'll request you to fill up the feedback form as well as the attendance form, which we have shared in the uh, chat box. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.